afternoon and welcome to today's edition of Galaxy. Galaxy's program, The Buzz, the show that keeps you updated on what's trending on social media. Today is Tuesday and it's the 14th of August 2018. My name is Patience Belukafo. Always a pleasure to be here on the program. All right, I'm not alone as usual. I have my panelists with me at the table. I like the way you're so comfortable, Justin. You know, you're sitting so comfortably over there. All right, sitting very close by me is a renowned filmmaker. I mean, I grew up watching him in a lot of soaps then. He was always a police officer, you know, always a police officer. And I grew up with that image of him. But today, you know, he's diversified into so many other things. But he's still a filmmaker and a social commentator, Mr. Femi Durojaye. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Thank you for
joining us. Also, we have panelist. He's fast becoming a regular too. He's a financial and business consultant. He's also chairman, board of trustees of ACT Network, a good governance advocacy group. It's a pleasure to have Mr. Segun Shokwiton on the show.
Thank you for having me again.
You're welcome, Mr. Shokwiton. Also, we have one of our regulars. He's a senior colleague of ours, a renowned journalist and a columnist, Mr. Justin Akbovi Esadi. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. And of course, we welcome you, our esteemed viewers, to the program. Remember, the number to use is 0802-836-8971. Also, our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram handles are open for you to interact with us on the show. Welcome again, gentlemen. All right, so let's go straight into it. First topic is on the International Youth Day. We all know the United Nations observes this particular celebration on the 12th of every August every year. And this year's observance was on Sunday. The theme for this year's observance of the International Youth Day is Safe Spaces for Youth. Now, according to estimated statistics, there are over 85 million youths in Nigeria, which ranks amongst the country with largest youth population in Africa and in the world. And of course, if we are to limit it, you know, to percentile of whatever of that population, we have over 60% of the entire population in Nigeria who are youth. And the youth of Nigeria face issues ranging from unemployment to poverty, and that's just a little, you know, out of all the problems. So we need to discuss about how resilient the Nigerian youths have been over the years, and also what are the safe spaces, you know, being provided by this country for the youths of Nigeria. But first, let's take this quick footage coming from the United Nations on the celebration of the International Youth Day. We'll be right back.
Thinking around safe spaces allows us to create an enabling environment where youth who have ideas or youth who are innovative can begin implementing what they feel is a sustainable life and a sustainable future for our world.
I think we need to take a step ahead and we need to think about brave spaces. I think particularly young people, we need to go out there, we need to lobby support in order for the government to create an incentive structure for investment to take place.
As a youth, I think that's our time to expose our ideas. Like, the world is in our hands now, so we are the leaders not of tomorrow, we are the leaders of today.
The fate of humanity depends on how the leaders of tomorrow actually engage with the leaders of today.
My hopes for International Youth Day is to meet and engage with youth who are taking part in sustainable projects that are helping communities.
I think that's all about networking and engaging youth all over the world, because the world is one and we are one.
The number again is 0802-836-8971. Let me begin from that end of the table. Mr. Akbovi, the Nigerian youths, based on what they face, you know, in the face of our current reality. Are there safe spaces really in this country for any Nigerian youth, as it were?
First of all, I have to ask you, what are they facing that other people are not facing? That's the first question, because when you say, when you single out the youth as facing a specific or a special problem, then we are not.
So you don't think that the Nigerian youths have a challenge on their hands, as it were, because of how the country is structured?
We all do. We all do. But the bottom line here is, first of all, you look at our society as it is at the moment, does not favor anybody. So when you single out a category of people or persons and say, these people are marginalized or they are not marginalized, you have to look at the
entirety.
Yes. So you say, I said it on this program some time ago, I said, nobody will give you any opportunity, especially in the kind of society we live in. You either wake up and take it, or you sit down and mourn. You mourn or you moan. There are two things to attach to this issue. So, yes, the youth are facing the same problem that almost every other person is facing. So, we all have to come together to say, how do we, surmount these problems? Not how should I or Femi now surmount its own problem. It's a collective responsibility. It's not about the youth now, because what I keep hearing is that give the youth opportunity. You don't give anybody any opportunity. Even in America, you don't give anybody. We've lost it long ago as a society. Because we did not create the enabling environment for everybody to try, save for the lazy people. So it's not about the youth now being say, okay, create a special category.
I get your line of reasoning, but then I do know that the youths, should be given more attention.
Like how?
Because
Okay.
you want to help me out?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Number one, the youths are being marginalized, so to say, and it's a tragedy in itself. The youths are facing tremendous challenges, for example, unemployment, by the virtue of the fact that 60% of the population are young people. So if you talk about unemployment in this country, they are mostly affected.
Are they ready to work?
Well, no, wait, that's besides the point, right? If you talk about having leadership space, just like women, they are marginalized. Now, I will tell you a story.
Go ahead.
To some extent, I agree with you. Nobody is going to give you on a platter. Like our dear is it Show Warrior, what's his name? And Femi,
I don't want to tell you.
they are waiting for a platter.
Yeah.
They are not mobilizing anybody. See, when I was a student, many years ago, at Federal Polytechnic Bauchi, when I got to Bauchi, I studied food technology, and as a science student, is ethical. You read and your eyeballs are dropping. We had our association. No students have touched that association for several years. It was in doldrums. Nobody wanted to, because it's time consuming. They don't want any wahala. They have to pass and all that. And I called my friends. I said, my friend, you guys, what's happening here? Because I did my ND at the Yaba College of Technology. I was a senator when I was there. So I called everybody. You can't let this association begin just like that. And I ran around, called everybody. We had an election, and I was elected president, unopposed. Prior to that, I had picked some particular people for different offices. I was a young boy. You understand? I saw that opportunity, and I took it. Before my HOD left, he said if he was going to employ anybody, because he went to a research institute, that was going to employ me. It's not just because of academics. You understand? You must have the ability to see an opportunity and take it. Nobody's going to sit
let me interject here, Mr. Droja. Now, you talked about you see an opportunity and you grab the opportunity.
Yes.
Let me throw that back at you.
Yes.
What are the opportunities that are there for the Nigerian youth
Maybe
for them to grab?
I should
Okay, let me just say this.
Okay.
One, let's talk about politics. Let's talk about politics. The lowest level, there are 3 tiers of government. The federal, state, and local government, so to say. At the local government, councillorship. You understand? Most of our young people, they're on social media. They cannot organize themselves. How many streets in your area make up a council to get a councillor?
Like 2, 3, 4 streets.
They can't organize themselves, and it's frustrating. You understand? Go, if you want power, go and organize yourself and get elected, get your people elected as a councillor. You don't want to do anything, and you are looking for power. Nobody's going to give you. Nobody's going to give you.
Let me come in. I think that we have to put everything within a context, right? I think, like Justin was saying, Nigeria has lost the way. We lost the way a long time ago as a society, right? And I agree with that. Now, in what sense? Today in Nigeria, what you are saying, I agree with you, 100%. However, there is the context of the socio-economic circumstances that Nigerians as a whole find themselves. So today, the primary objective and objective, let me use that word, of the average Nigerian, whether youth or not, is how to survive. Is how to make it to the end of that day with a full stomach. Some of them can't even do 3 meals. You just survive on one and thank God and start looking forward to the next one. And statistically, you are talking of over 70% of Nigerians. So if you take 70% of a 60%, then you can, or 70% of 85 million. Think about the number of Nigerian youths whose primary objective when they wake up is how they're going to go to bed having eaten something. So now people that are Maslow's hierarchy of needs, people that are faced with how to survive till the end of the day, can't think of organizing.
Think of leadership.
And that's why, I'm going somewhere. Now, I don't think this is an accident. This is, and I'm sure it's not new to us. I think that the way the country is structured today, there is a political class and if you like, a ruling elite who has been in control of how things work in this country for
a long time.
You can just say forever because, if you think about it carefully, maybe from 1970. 1970 is almost 50 years ago, for God's sake.
Okay.
And it's the same guys that have been running things.
Look,
now,
finish.
I'm going somewhere. I'm saying that before we castigate, I agree with you, but before we talk about how these guys need to take these things by themselves, we've got to understand that a system has been deliberately created.
So where do we go from here? These are just excuses. They are excuses.
Yes. Listen, yes, the society shares, I think, 70%, if not more, of the blame. But then let us also come back to the youth that we are trying to fight for. Are they ready to work? How many of them are ready to work? Most of them, the moment they grow up, they are living in their father's house and they have a laptop and they have an internet modem. And what they do, is Yahoo in the sense of the world.
I strongly disagree.
Hold on,
I strongly disagree.
Okay.
I strongly disagree.
Everybody wants to hammer. Now you see the slogan on the street is that I did street. I did street because the person hammers, the father will not ask the source of the wealth. The bottom line is that he has hammered. Okay? So if you are also blaming the society, are you looking, thoroughly at the youth and say, are they also ready to work? Because now we have a government at the moment that says, let us go back to farming.
Okay.
How many of them are ready to farm?
Excuse me.
You have raised a salient point. We need to take a quick commercial break. All right, we'll take a commercial break. We'll come back and talk.
This is where you'll be in a few days, pitching that breakthrough idea of yours. But before any of that, there's stuff to get done, starting now. First, you'll have to clear out your schedule. Sorry, guys. You fellows, too. You'll make it up to her.
You better.
Now, let's get to work. Keep at it. Looking good. Love it. Oh, not good enough. Well, let's start over again. And again, and again. Pressure will get to you. But you will rise up and power through it all, no matter what. Then step onto that stage and hit them with that idea. Bam! See, they all love it. Even this guy. You are on top of your world. You, my friend, are unstoppable. Power Horse. Unstoppable you.
We'll welcome you back from that. All right, so you've landed, Justin. Okay, so let's hear you. We're still discussing the International Youth Day and how the society is providing for the Nigerian youth. The number once again is 0802-836-8971. SMS only. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
For me, Nigerian youths are very hardworking. I have my own, and they are hardworking. You understand? And concerning maybe, say, farming or something like that, it's not just for you to say, yeah, I want to farm. Where has been prepared? Farming is not just you carrying one cutlass and all that. Let's talk about Lagos State government, that Lagos is mostly water. What aqua-related agricultural facility has been put in place, and they are now saying, youths of Lagos, come and do farming. And they say, no, we don't want to do farming. We are lazy, we want to sleep. I have seen all the youths of this country from different tribes. Let's take, for example, the Hausa youth, right? It comes from maybe Kano or from Maiduguri and all that. They keep about 3 jobs. Maybe he's employed as a gate man. He sees a vacant land somewhere, he's farming. Maybe if there's a small space, he carries water. They are hard-working people. You understand? What they don't, you see, the thing is that they do not have the opportunity. For me, I think parents, in a big way too, are failing their children. Because the first mentor you are going to have, because Justin said something that some of them are into Yahoo Yahoo. It's true. It's true. And it's fraud is all over the country. Everybody does it. All over the world. Whether you're a youth or you are a senator. You know, in the Federal House of Representatives, there was a senator that took bribe. So we have corruption.
About the youth.
Yes, I'm saying that it's not doing 419 or stuff like that. It's not a peculiarity.
And now it's a vocation.
Don't say a vocation for the youth. People do it. Amongst them, you find young people. Nigerian youths are very, very hardworking people. They are hustlers. Look at the music industry. When did government intervene? They created it. Look at Nollywood, created by themselves.
Look at
you understand?
Computer Village.
Created by themselves.
Innovation,
they are innovative, they are hardworking.
The entertainment industry has been there even before this agitation of youth.
We know. I'm talking about.
Old people do not go into entertainment in their old age. They start from somewhere. We had the Felix Liberty, we had the GDOB, we had people of our generation.
But we didn't have something.
So what are we talking about?
They are young people even at that time. You understand?
So what are we talking about?
So it's the young people that are creating ways.
They did not sit down and wait for government to come and do something for them.
I agree with you. They are very innovative people.
My question is still, I still haven't answered my question.
Yes.
I'm not content. Are there safe spaces for the Nigerian
let me
young
answer
person
that.
to
See,
thrive?
the issue is this. If you are now, I like the fact that you went back there because while I was listening to both of them, that's what I was just thinking. That okay, what are we here to talk about? Nigeria International Youth Day, safe spaces. For the United Nations to have coined that as the theme, that surely means that there's an expectation, that something has to be done
Society
by somebody.
Has to intentionally.
Exactly. There has to be a deliberate intention by society, to harness the energy. Now, you said, a lot about how you know a lot of people that are very hardworking, and I'm sure we all know them.
Yes.
I always say that there are 2 categories of youth.
We also know the
lazy ones.
Yes.
But the thing is that these things don't happen by accident. I always say that nature tends towards disorder. whatever you don't deliberately make happen won't happen.
Exactly.
Yes. Right? So the government of the day / society, whoever you want to put in that society category, whether parents or whoever else, all the father figures and the influences in their lives,
we
need to make sure that we create the spaces. Now, spaces in what regard? We're not just talking of maybe the physical space. We're saying, okay, in sports, how do we ensure that the field of sports draws these guys and attracts them so that they're not thinking of Yahoo?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do we ensure that Nollywood is better structured to make it more attractive for them? All of these things have to happen from the standpoint of policy by government, who is, they're putting in things in there to attract these guys, to give them incentives and encourage them to come and, channel that immense energy, creativity, innovativeness that is a natural part of them. I've got my son, my 19-year-old son. He codes. I mean, at 19, he's still in university. He writes games, and all of that. Last night, he didn't sleep until 3, and he still had to wake up this morning and go to work. He's still there right now. Wow. It's because somehow, that's a Nigerian youth. Because somehow at an early stage, we got him interested in that. And say, okay, you know what, guy, I saw that he had a propensity for this.
He did not wait
for government policy.
Yeah,
you see, as important as government, as important as government policy is to create spaces for young people, it's not going to happen with the current political leaders of this country. Wait, I know what I'm saying. You cannot expect a Bola Tinubu who built a political structure to now look at one youth, or except to go and beg him. You go down and give it to one youth because they say give it to the youth. Are the youth positioning themselves? You understand? We have had issues with Lagos State government, 1 or 2 issues. Have they put themselves together and be a pressure group?
Yeah, but that's why I started my submission by saying that the country as it is today does not encourage these guys on their own to say this is what I want to do, because they're busy trying to survive. So you have to, as a government, try to help them.
See, I was a student. I became the president of an academic association. Wait, you are saying I had to eat, I had to read. You understand? But I created time. I said this thing, we can let it die.
Okay.
Nothing has changed. It's the same thing. You must create that opportunity. You must work hard. If they have a pressure group, for example, in Lagos, for me, I've been agitating that Lagos is mostly water. Let's do something about water transportation. You understand? Our roads keep spoiling. The traffic on the road is mighty. You understand?
I saw some couple of days, Ambode signed an MOU with some foreign company or something.
Thank you. You see, you need groups like this. Young people that was, okay, XYZ group. Okay. We are going to face government on this. They are not doing anything.
Okay, all right. Let's see how the viewers are reacting. Kayode from Sokoto says, Nigerian youths were said to be lazy. The Nigerian leaders are the laziest for taking up to 6 months to appoint ministers. Youths need to take power from the laziest leaders.
Yeah, it's taking power online.
All right, this other one
they run 24 hours on Facebook and Twitter, and you want to take power.
Imam Ashraf from Oshogbo says, youths in Nigeria are considered to be irrelevant in social, economic, and political system of the country. That's why some youths have turned themselves into professional criminals, and as a result of principle.
What a justification.
Something like, we can now see Yahoo girls while Yahoo boys have turned to ritualists. Honestly, society, majorly political environment,
that's a very feeble justification.
No space for youth in Nigeria. But if it continues like that, expect a higher crime rate.
Story.
Okay.
And the police will be sleeping.
You want space in politics, and you can't organize yourself 6 streets and get a councillor. You don't want to do that.
No.
Start from somewhere. All right, this one just came in. Emmanuel Shawa from Lagos says, no good jobs in Nigeria after many years at school. All right, but I don't know that something needs to be done about the system.
Yes.
The way the country is structured, I said it on the show yesterday. We're talking about, a youth candidacy in the forthcoming elections. I did say the way the country is now,
Yes.
an average young person doesn't even begin to get themselves right until you are
Until
like
30,
middle age.
Will the
You are like
young
35
people
age,
vote for that young
Right.
person?
See, the problem is that today, first of all, even define youth. As we stand in Nigeria today, the average Nigerian sees me as a youth.
Yes.
For crying out loud, with
Yeah.
this my great baby, they still say I'm a youth. You
Because your
yeah.
mates are somewhere organizing youth
Exactly.
programs and
No, but
stuff like that.
that's because at age 35, when you are supposed to already be a married man with 3 children,
Yeah.
You are your
many
father.
of these guys are
Settling
still in
in.
their father's house
Of course.
because of the way the country
It is
is. So
structured.
we're saying there needs to be a balance
There needs to,
somewhere.
and a lot more youth inclusion.
Yes, government must
All right,
make
let's move it
policies
along.
and all that.
Let's move it along.
For youth must-
Osinbajo knocks pastors. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo has berated gospel preachers for failure to lend support to the federal government's anti-corruption war by failing to preach against the scourge. He said preachers were preoccupied with preaching prosperity rather than righteousness. Responding to this allegation, the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, said although Osinbajo might have exclusive information to make the claim, the church has been speaking against the manifestation of corruption for a long time to no avail. Being a pastor himself, the acting president may know what we don't know, and he has a right to correct those whose teaching or preaching contradicts the scripture. I'll start from Mr. Shopito.
It's very funny because
Deliberately.
the vice president. Why did you start? The vice president is a pastor. So I think he has the right. He knows what he's saying.
What he's talking about.
Yeah, and to some degree, I agree with him. Even though, on the other hand, I would say the government has a much bigger role to play. But I've always said that there seems to be, for some reason, a divergence. I always say that our faith as Nigerians, we're very religious, right? As Nigerians, whether Muslims or Christians or whatever else you believe in, we're very religious. But it appears as though our faith and our values tend to work in parallel. They don't converge. And that's been a problem for me. So I've gotten to the point now where, as a person, if I'm doing business with you, you approach me and you say, this, and you introduce yourself with a religious title. My alarm bells goes
off.
My wall goes up.
Wow.
Yes, because I don't want to meet you. I don't want you to put that in front of you. Because then I suspect that you are trying to hoodwink me in some way. So I think that really the church is getting something wrong. Because when I say the church, sorry, let me rephrase that. The religious leaders are getting something wrong. Yeah, not just the church. Because if you look at the level of religion that we practice, and yet you look at the vices and the values that we hold as a society, the fact that, yes, we're all very pious, we're all very holy, we carry the Quran, we carry the Bible, and yet we don't seem to have a problem with beating the traffic lights. Just take that one. Every time that you jump the traffic light, you are breaking the law. So which religion precisely are you practicing that doesn't tell you to do it right? That every time that a policeman says stop, you should stop. Every time you meet a queue at an ATM, you should respect the people on that queue and know that they also have time. And wait, not try to go to the front. So those things, our religion somehow doesn't seem to affect those things that we profess.
Okay. I know Mr. Femi is raring to go. Go ahead.
Let's come back. Let's not generalize and say religion. This matter is specific. The vice president has accused pastors.
Talking to pastors.
Yes. That they are preaching prosperity. They are not preaching against corruption. I don't know. I attend the same church he attends. You understand? My pastor preaches against corruption almost every Sunday. If it's not specifically on corruption, right behavior is the norm in Redeemed Christian Church of God. It's a way of life, the Christ-like life. You understand? All our upbringing, everything about us is doing things right. What Pastor Osinbajo is saying, there are some pastors. We always have, some of them, they are not even members of CAN that preach prosperity all the time. But see, it's a warning bell, right? And it's an alarm in the sense that the vice president is now talking to pastors. More will come as we go towards the presidential election. You know why? Because CAN had said, Muhammadu Buhari, do not contest. He's the vice president, right? technically saying that two of you, please just leave office, don't go. There are going to be a lot of talk against the church as we move towards the election. But I want to tell...
So you are seeing this as more like an indictment on the church, more like a baseless kind of thing? Is that what you're saying?
See,
okay.
In every religion, you understand, they are going to be divergent. Of course. You understand? So, but when you say specifically that pastors are not preaching against corruption, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Really?
Which of his pastor is Pastor Adeboye? Is he saying that Pastor Adeboye does not preach against corruption? No, what he's saying, let me finish, let me learn. What he's saying, this thing has political undertone.
That's what you
Mark my words, as we go towards the presidential election, the church is going to be attacked. Okay. But it's futile.
Okay, but let me ask you, Justin. Both of them have agreed, at least on one point, the fact that many pastors do preach against corruption. But I'm asking, isn't it one thing to preach against corruption and another thing for you to reflect something else? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Patience. You see, we have two leaders at the moment. President Muhammadu Buhari and acting President Osinbajo, who are leaders by example. So when somebody like Osinbajo says pastors are not preaching against corruption, he knows what he's talking about.
He doesn't know.
Okay, now listen, Femi.
Yes.
I saw a video was trending some time ago where a popular pastor, a mega GO, said I need somebody to give the church 1 billion naira. He said it. Now I ask you one question, Patience. Which normal person will wake up and go and give a church 1 billion naira if the person is not a politician stealing public funds, if the person is not a ritualist, if the person is not a fraudster?
I think you don't know what you're talking about.
No, listen. Because if you say, will a Dangote take his 1 billion naira and give to a church?
A Dangote can take his 1 billion naira and give the mosque if he wants to.
Maybe not to a church, but to a mosque.
He can do that. It is his money.
Fine. Maybe he will build a mosque as big as
But you know,
he can do that.
But you know, that is the aspect I have a problem with, where you give to the church and then it's headline news. A lot of these money bags give to mosques and nobody hears about it, which I think is the way it should be.
Let me rephrase. Let me ask a simple question. Why will pastors preach against corruption? If they do, how will they buy the private jets they fly?
Excuse me.
I disagree with you. I did not cut you.
No.
Can you wait for me?
You are making very
sacrilegious
statements.
Okay, let him land.
Okay,
Justin, you have the floor.
You're on a plane, so land.
Listen. Now, if they preach about corruption, because now we also have a situation whereby somebody who is facing a corruption charge or corruption charges at the moment gave a certain church over how much million naira? Yes. And the pastor did not even ask. This is a public official. The pastor did not ask, where did you get the money from? The pastor did, and up till now, the pastor has not come out to make an official statement. Listen.
I think
hold on.
Do you know how donations are made in church?
I think we shouldn't.
You go to your pastor and say,
I was never specific. I did not.
What you are saying is, I need to make something clear.
Are you done?
No, I'm not done.
All right,
so
quickly.
the question I will also ask is this.
Yes.
Why would they preach against corruption?
When it favors them.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
That's very true.
Okay, Femi, let's hear
For
you.
me, right, let's understand something very clearly. Prosperity is part of the Christian heritage.
How?
I'm
Did it start in Nigeria?
Excuse me, I'm talking about the scripture. I'm a Christian and I know my Bible.
You quote the scripture.
Excuse me, I know my Bible.
Quote it.
I know my Bible.
Go ahead, Femi.
For example, right, if you talk about the book of Job, I don't know the particular chapter, it says, if you put away iniquity from you, you will gather gold as dust. Christianity is synonymous with prosperity. You understand?
No, you have to. You need to interpret that.
No. I'm telling you the truth. Christianity is synonymous with prosperity.
Okay.
Even God Himself, right? He said He will bless you. You understand? Blessing is part of the Christian heritage. What's it called? The Bible tells you to walk.
So
Oh, of course, if you don't work, you cannot eat. Let's come to your issue of private jets. If I have a private jet, the person, our people say, the person that sets a trap with an antelope, you think he wants to catch a rat?
you buy favor from God?
No, it's not.
No,
See,
that's what you're saying.
we have an
Just
example. Just
let
to
him
cool
learn.
down. We have an example in our Bible about a man called Solomon that he gave so much to God. You understand? And God gave him an open check.
Solomon was
Tell
not a poor
me,
person.
excuse me, tell me what you want. It's our Christian faith. We are not going to apologize for it.
Solomon was not a poor person.
No. You see, let me land.
Let
Let me land.
Okay, gentlemen, I'm still the moderator here.
Okay.
All right, so
moderator.
one at a time.
You allow Justin to land.
Yes, that's what I'm trying
now
to
land.
achieve here.
Now land.
Yes.
Let's land, Femi. Land.
When it
Okay.
comes to the issue of private jets, it is the prerogative of anybody, any Christian or non-Christian, to either give the man of God or give the church. You cannot question the gift of a man.
I
You
never
can't.
questioned
And
that.
that's what I'm doing. I just want
said that is why they don't preach against corruption.
That is not true. I don't know which church you attend or who is your pastor. My own pastor preaches against corruption. I've been a redeemed for decades, and I've always had pastors who redeem is about
You are being
spirituality.
specific now.
Let us not narrow it.
Don't
Narrow it to the
don't-
redeemed.
Yes.
Because this is
I never
like
mentioned the name of any church.
I'm mentioning my church, and I know that all churches
Mr.
they
Shakuto,
preach
let's hear you.
against corruption.
Let's hear you.
Ajiboye does not know
I
what
think
Hold
we need
on,
to-
hold on.
We have to be careful not
Yes.
to make generalistic,
Exactly.
sweeping statements.
Exactly.
Right? Now, I think we should focus on what the vice
On what
president has
the
said.
acting president said, yes.
And the acting president, I mean, and he said something, and like I said at the beginning, I think because he is a pastor, he must know what he's talking about, and I respect him a lot.
Or you
because
should know.
He must. I'm saying he
He
must.
should
Okay,
know.
I'm saying he must. I'm
He
saying
should
he must
know.
because he's a pastor and he's still practicing as a pastor today. And for your information, sir, I'm also a Christian. And when I say Christian, I mean born again, spirit filled, right? And I still say that the vice president, the acting president, has a point. I believe that, without wanting to be too generalistic, right, that we need to do more as the church. We need to emphasize on the need for your life to reflect the values that the Bible preaches, the things that Jesus Christ stands for. And I think that's what the vice president, the acting president is talking about. When we say corruption, what do we mean? We're not talking of just stealing. And that's why I started by saying jumping of traffic lights, sir. It's corruption.
Yes.
It's corruption.
Yes, jumping of
It's
queue.
corruption when
It's corruption.
a minister is accused of forging a certificate,
Yes.
a NYC
Yes.
certificate, and
Yes.
government does not do
Yes.
anything about it. It's also corruption.
Maybe-
Is it not
you see,
corruption? It's corruption.
See, that's the thing. When you mix and match like this,
We are talking about corruption, and it's not just
Femi
money.
is a
You lose the
filmmaker,
point.
so he's editing, he's cutting, and joining.
What we are
That's the
saying
point.
is,
The
he just made
The
that.
point is very simple.
Okay,
Yeah.
The point is
let's
we-
go to the
we
People's
need to do
Parliament. The people at home's Parliament.
We are already doing. The church is already doing more.
Let's see
The
how
church is doing more.
the viewers are reacting. Monday says the vice president is a pastor. Is he not corrupt by seeing corruption and looking the other way?
Thank you.
Pastors who know the path of righteousness will preach against corruption. However, this is a whip on the back of corrupt pastors. This other one says, hello presenter, I'm enjoying your program which is talking about our youth in Nigeria, but sincerely, our leaders are not ready to help the youth. Rather, they use them as thugs and other dirty games to actualize their political
If you are ready to be a
gain.
thug, then you'll be a thug.
All right, this other one says, let's assume a thief is asking the community to form vigilante. Is anything wrong with that? is that a serious question?
That's for President, Vice President Osinbajo.
That shouldn't even have come. That shouldn't even have come on
All right,
air.
let's go ahead. The people of God should be highly prosperous because it is our heritage.
It is our,
All right,
it is
good
our
afternoon.
heritage.
Let's not deceive ourselves. Church is strictly business. The redeemed veteran should not call names. Thank you. Dio from Ikeja says that. Brethren, the acting president is indicting the Lord and his ministers without using his office for the advancement of God's kingdom. he should represent heaven and not otherwise. And he actually put a Bible verse here, Job 22, for those who have time to read it. All right, the church can't be judged by any man. That one came in from Justice. This other one says, when a pastor supports the analysis that when corrupt politicians were in power, a bag of rice was 9,000 naira and price of petrol was 97, as compared to price of today, and corruption.
That guy must stay.
Let him speak. Let the people of Nigeria speak.
Lame analysis.
Okay.
Yeah. Precious, you know something? I am even very happy that it was Professor Osinbajo that made that statement. Thank God it was not.
It's not someone who is not a pastor.
No. Thank God it's not even just somebody. Thank God it's not President Buhari. Because by now, people will be dancing on the streets with placards and saying, "Oh, Buhari wants to really."
No, yes. I don't agree with President Vice President Osinbajo. I don't agree with him.
When I read that statement, I double checked. I confirmed if it actually came from Osinbajo.
Yes.
Okay, thank God it was not even. Thank God it's not Femi Adesina or Garba Shehu that made that statement. Because
what is the value of the statement?
Invariably, it would have been from Buhari. So now we are happy that a pastor is calling out his fellow pastors, and it goes out to prove the reservations some of us have about church. Both of you say, I'm a Christian, You proudly
you try to be Christians.
Listen. I never tell you I'm a Christian. I will tell you I am trying to be a Christian.
It's the same thing.
No, because it's so easy in Nigeria for somebody to say, I'm a born again Christian. No, don't play with me.
The fact, let's go back to
Osinbajo.
You see, it's so easy. But if you even look at the Bible that we are all talking about, that is supposed to be the guidebook for everybody.
Yes.
The disciples were first called Christians where?
In Antioch.
Yeah, and it took after how many years of following Christ? So they did not wake up because they were following Christ everywhere and said, I'm a Christian. There are certain things it takes to be. I don't question your Christianness. Neither do I too. But you see, the issue is, I see things in, especially religion. I decide to stay away from that. I say, I'm trying to be a Christian. Now, Osinbajo has opened our eyes. Femi said everything is about the 2019 election. I disagree. You know why?
Why?
Because truth is bitter.
What truth is bitter? Can I come in? What truth is bitter? The fact is that Osinbajo cannot tell pastors that they are not preaching against corruption. It's wrong.
He never said all the pastors are not preaching against corruption.
Which pastors?
He said pastors are not doing enough. And if you need to single out yourself, if you are doing enough or not.
And I think you should divorce his statement from the politics.
Yes.
Because for me, I tell you, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm saying to myself that really, if pastors, since he spoke about pastors, are preaching against corruption enough, tell me how many Christians we have in Nigeria today and why the corruption scourge
is even on the rise.
I want to make something very clear. Just
divorce the politics.
I will use my church, because I'm a Christian, or according to you, Justin.
You are a Christian.
No, wait.
I am not going to allow you to narrow this to a particular church.
Okay, all right. I want to tell you structures in church so that the viewing public can understand.
Quickly, go ahead.
Now, in a particular church that I attend, you have, probably if you're a worker, you have workers' meeting, then you have Sunday school, where you are taught the scripture, you understand, then you have the service proper. In all these three, they are teaching you how to live uprightly. So I am surprised, right, that anybody can come and make a general statement.
That is your church.
That's your church.
There are other churches who don't
we
follow
see them
the
on
precepts.
TV. We see them on TV.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Wisdom is justified of his own children. Is that not what the Bible says?
Yes.
So see, what we're saying is that the society as a whole today, Nigeria, do you agree that Nigeria has a corruption problem?
Yes.
I do.
I do.
And how many Christians do we have?
Good.
We need to do more.
You are speaking something that's
Why
very
can't
important.
you take
We have to move on to the next topic,
I
gentlemen.
wanted to answer
We have to move on to the next topic because of time. Now, the thing is, there are pastors who are talking about this, but I think the vice president is calling on them to do more.
retrace
You
your
know,
steps.
yes, let's do more in terms of
Pastors
preaching.
are
what
already
is-
doing enough.
What is
more
right?
than enough?
That's
If you take away the church from Nigeria, I don't know whether this country will stand.
All right, our next topic.
They are doing very well.
NURT tasked Federal Road Safety Corps on issuance of driver's license. The National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW, in Jigawa on Monday called on the FRSC to be stricter in vetting driver's license before issuance to applicants. According to the man who made this particular statement, he said when he applied for a driver's license way back in 1976, he had to go through rigorous lessons on both the practical and theoretical aspects of driving before he got the license in 1978. So it took him 2 years. And he's saying that the way things are today, like you can get your license like the same day, is making the matter worse. So the question is availability of driver's license. How is that really not helping, you know, with road mannerisms and every other thing around that?
It's not an availability problem, first of all, because I think what the guy is talking about is the fact that in Nigeria today, we have people that can't drive, who own driver's licenses.
Yeah, because when you go to the bank, they ask you
for a means
to
of
get the driver's license.
identity, yes.
So they go to a FRSC and they apply and they get it, you know, and I think that's what the guy is talking about.
Without checking or vetting if the person,
you know, in fact, it shouldn't even be a vetting per se. It's supposed to be a training.
Yes.
You know, so first of all, how many people know when you see a triangle on the floor, on the road in front of
What
you,
it means.
and the triangle is pointing towards you? What does it mean?
When you see
know,
a sign like
when you
this,
see
what does it mean?
Exactly. When you see a no U-turn sign,
Yes.
how many drivers on Nigerian roads know what those things mean? You know, and I think that's what the guy is saying, that we need to, and it's not just road safety, it's all our systems and processes as a nation. Everything is corrupted. I'm saying corrupted, I'm not talking about the word corruption, I'm just saying we don't do things as they ought to be done. We don't do things the way societies that we like to emulate do them. So we need to go back. The Road Safety Commission needs to ensure that it will not be possible for me to secure a driver's license if I can't drive. I must do my theory test, pass it, and then do my practical. Until we come back to that, we're a long way.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Justin, if you will permit me.
Go ahead.
We are in the 4th year of Muhammadu Buhari's administration. And they promised us what? Change.
Oh, come on.
Wait! You spoke. I will see. This country is my own. You understand? This country is my own. You promise us change, right? Change in the way government runs its business.
Yeah.
You understand? If you want to know whether there is any change in this country, ask that man that complained. Federal Road Safety Commission is an organ of the federal government.
Yeah.
So if there is a change, if there is a fight against corruption, you will say that the institutions themselves, the body language of the institutions themselves, will match anti-corruption. The anti-corruption fight is a farce. It's not, they are just talking. There's no anti-corruption going on in this country.
Okay.
And we can see this is just one institution. You understand? This is just one institution in 4 years.
What do you think?
And nothing has changed.
What do you think it will take to reorganize the Road Safety Commission to ensure that its processes cannot be subverted by touts, by government officials, by civil servants who will send their staff to go and, you know, I mean, it's an endemic problem.
Okay,
How long do you think it will take for that
we are running out of
change?
time. Maybe I should speak.
You are itching to speak.
Yes.
Okay. You asked me a question. If we continue this way, 50 years from now, if Buhari is still president. Wait, I said if. Federal Road Safety Commission is not going to change.
Okay.
That's the truth.
Okay,
we are 4
Femi,
years.
Justin, let's
Nothing has
hear you
changed.
quickly because of time.
Femi is predictable when it comes to Buhari's issue.
No, I'm speaking the truth.
I wonder how this conversation about the driver's license suddenly became about Buhari.
It's a national
problem. No,
It's a national problem.
Now,
let's
you know what? Have you gone? You know, a driver's license is not what you go get every day anyway. Yeah. So what in April, I misplaced mine. I had to go for a renewal. You know, I live in a part of Lagos where the local government council is not far from my house. I walked there one morning, and when they listed what I had to go through to get this renewal, So I am beginning to wonder where that guy got his information from, that you can work now under this change government that we're talking about and get a license. Even in 3 weeks, you cannot do that. But if you are talking about 1976, that it took him 2 years. I mean, 1976 is how many years ago? You cannot expect somebody to get a driver's license in 2 years, in 2018. So this is the change we are talking about.
We are saying corruption.
No, listen to
corrupting
me.
the process.
Okay,
That's what
now,
we are talking.
Femi,
Yes.
you should also understand that Muhammadu Buhari came with the mantra of change. He will not make you and I will not come down from Abuja and force the three of us here to change.
Okay.
Unless we decide to change.
I'm not talking about me. I'm
No,
talking about
it's about
an
all of us.
institution. I'm talking about an institution
All
that
right,
is part of the
gentlemen.
government.
You cannot
I'm
remove
not
yourself
talking
from
about
the
me. I'm an
institution.
individual.
Okay.
He's in charge of the institutions. Let the change begin.
All right, so what we're saying is the way things are with the issuance of driver's license, we don't need to do
The
anything.
NUROT, whatever chairman, should also tell his members, because all the Danfo people are his members, all the Keke are their members. He should tell them that it's not about having a driver's license, because these guys are mad. These guys on the road, they even with their driver's license, if they get it in 2 years, they are not normal. So I think the orientation, what is campaigning, what is canvassing now, should be focused on his people.
Okay.
See, the man, which state did he say?
Jigawa.
Jigawa. The
Yes.
man is telling us the truth as he finds it. Right? We know that don't let us play the ostrich.
Okay.
That today, Federal Road Safety
All right,
Commission,
we have
there's
to
still
go.
corruption,
We have to
massive
go.
corruption going on. There's no change.
10 seconds.
10 seconds on this, my brother. This problem with road safety is pervasive in road safety, it's pervasive in customs, it's an endemic
Immigration.
problem. And
Thank
it's not
you.
going to change in 3 years.
It's
sir.
not going to
Okay.
change in 3 years.
All
Okay?
right, gentlemen,
Are
that's
you
as
going to
much
take my 10
as
seconds?
we can take.
Oh.
You've had like
I've
1
not had
hour,
one.
Femi, on the show. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for coming on the program. I'd like to conclude with this one. The error in VP's statement is that he didn't say some pastors. If he, as a lawyer, would say pastors, I think he knows the implication of the use of the word. Thank you so much, Justin, for coming. Thank you, Mr. Shegun Shokito and Mr. Femi Drojaye. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Tomorrow at noon, we'll be back again. Do join us then. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.